Now let's get cracking with this last 16 game, and you can hear that the man from Devon has got a lot of support with him. It's England versus the Netherlands, of course, and I suppose if there are any smatterings of English folk out there, they will go with Ryan for this one, but Dirk is playing sneaky well in this tournament, averaging 98.16 for the event so far, but not as good as Ryan.
Yeah, he's around the flat 100 mark, isn't he? An average of 99.42 in his 6-4 win against Mervyn King in round one, and then a 101.49 in a demolition of Jamie Hughes, 100. Which we witnessed this afternoon.
That really was good against Hughes. And it's a good job he was good at the start, because Jozza started to find it towards the end 100. Of that match.
Yeah, he did, and Dirk van Duijvenbode certainly found it in thrashing Daryl Gurney by the same scoreline.
You're trying to tell me that Matt Ward's not going to be very, very happy with these two, because two of his horses were taken out by these two combatants.
Interesting to get a read on the players, because it's been a long old wait, hasn't it? Last match on stage 2 tonight. Dirk was first match on stage 1 this afternoon.
Yeah, and Ryan was late in the session, so he's had to wait a lot less time. You just got to be flexible. And knowing Dirk, what he's probably done after he's won that match earlier, he's gone back to his apartment, gone for a walk, got some fresh air, and just got himself ready accordingly. And that's the first leg to Searle with a 1-2-1. A really good start from Heavy Metal.
Oh, look at the face.
That's the Lord Farquaad face.
Yeah, a bit smug there, wasn't he, Searle? And why not?
It's a bit like that line in Shrek, isn't it? Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Well, he's certainly inflicting heavy punishment with a shot like that, particularly when Van Duijvenbode was waiting on 81 to break.
57.
Yeah, I get the feeling this one's going to be good.
But it will be quick, won't it? Ryan Searle is a really carefree, fast-throwing, free-flowing type of thrower.
I'm glad you said that.
And Dirk van Duijvenbode is one of the most animated Arrowsmiths on the hockey.
Is he as animated as he used to be, though?
I think in a longer match, generally you'll get something. Sometimes it can be quite businesslike in the short races that he's become well accustomed to winning, but if he gets embroiled in a battle, he has to put that energy somewhere, doesn't he? He's a big ball of energy.
Yep, very true. Right now he's staring a hole through the board and being very disappointed with only a ton. But these two have got a lot in common. They've both won this year. Dirk's done it more than once, though. They've both made the final session of this tournament before, but Searle has made the final, whereas Dirk has only made the quarters. I say only. He made the quarters on debut.
Took him a while to get that debut, though, didn't it? DVD.
Yeah, quite surprised when I looked that up today. Hello. Oh, he ran out of room. I just needed a smidgen more to sneak into that 60 for a shot of the big fish. And we're level.
They had a great meeting at the World Match Play, didn't they, earlier this year? 10-8 in favour of Van Duijvenbode, both men averaging in 3 figures.
Yep, excellent. And they suit each other's game. It's not just about the pace. It's about how they play the game as well. It's no nonsense. They're great mathematicians.
In fact, you mentioned the fact that Dirk van Duijvenbode has won twice on tour this year. Well, it could have been the other way around, because one of those wins was in a final against Ryan Searle, and he won it in a last leg decider.
Oh, there you go. In fact, Dirk could have won a lot more. He lost in a final, didn't he? Big stage final. In that final, got him to the Grand Slam, where he was rather unfortunate.
Well, in that match I mentioned, he defied an average of 104 from Ryan Searle to beat him in 15 legs.
I know we've talked a lot about what Ryan hasn't done the last 6 months. That's a very negative thing for me to say, but we judge him very differently now because of what he's done over the last 2 years. What we have seen in the current, though, is a lot of this. A lot of this.
111.
Don't know why the pause there from Ryan Searle, but he did actually step across, didn't he, the hockey slightly.
Doesn't leave double 16 a lot. I don't blame him going for double-double.
Fair enough, decent visit in the end. Leaves it handy just in case, Ryan Searle, who doesn't have many throws at this. Misses it. Missed it twice, but hit it in the end and gets the second leg in the ledger.
I think it's fascinating amongst modern dart players when they're not happy to be 2-1 up, for example, in this match. They'll just be happy when they've got 10 next to their name. And because of the proclivity of these guys to hit maximums, I wouldn't be surprised if we get double-digit maximums. The same way we did with Humphreys and Ratajski earlier when they got 17.
One thing we haven't seen, and I'm rather disappointed, Paul. We sat here doing that marathon session yesterday on stage 2. Nobody was courteous enough to produce a 9-darter. Come on, lads. One of you can do it.
Yeah, I'm going to back them. Well, let's look at the people that are through to the quarterfinals. Actually, we'll do it in the next leg because it looks like Dirk's going to take this one out.
Yeah, it is 2 180s in the leg from Van Duijvenbode, but just not in the order we wanted
Dirk
them.
requires 61.
61 required, 25. Not what he goes for.
29.
So he likes to leave double 16.
Yes, he does, and he likes to start on double 16 as well when he's in the Grand Prix.
60. Dirk require 32.
I think the submit button has been pushed by Searle in this leg. For good reason, because it's 2-2. But if you look at the bracket of this tournament, this is the strongest bracket based on the seedings that we're seeing going into the quarters. We've got the 5th seed Rob Cross waiting the winner. And we've got Dirk number 4, Ryan number 13.
96.
So that's a lot of small numbers going into the quarters. But if you look at the top one, you've got the 32 seed against the 24 seed.
134.
That's Clayton against Rids. Go a little bit further down, you've got the number 2 seed, obviously, Luke Humphreys. He's going to be playing against Scott Williams or Joe Cullen. And one of those guys is 26.
96.
You see what I'm trying to say here? And here's the weird one. I said this earlier, but it's worth mentioning again. Oh, but look at that. That's an amazing 180 for... How much is it? 66 grams of... No, it's a lot more than that. It's 96 grams of tungsten in that 60 bed.
It's only second of the match. I say only because Dirk Van Duijvenbode has hit 4 in 5 legs.
Wow. He just had to check.
Yeah, he wasn't checking what was left there. He was checking what he'd hit because of what we said earlier. He can't quite see whether he's hit the treble or not.
Yeah, the point I was going to make was that Dimitri is playing against Michael van Gerwen, and that's the 27th seed against the 22nd. Double 6 found, Searle in front. This is rapid, and it's very good.
Yeah, both players once again are averaging in 3 figures. Ryan Searle edging the match in terms of the scoreline, but Dirk Van Duijvenbode is around the 108 mark at the moment.
Are you a believer in game chemistry
41.
like I am?
Explain what game chemistry is and I'll tell you.
When 2 players come up against each other and they always deliver. They're comfortable playing each other and they know it's going to be good. So an example of that is Jermaine Watermina against Luke Humphreys. They love playing each other, and they've had some battles. MVG versus Anderson.
Dirk Van Duijvenbode versus Ryan Searle.
96.
I do believe the theory that Phil Taylor used to peddle, which is with some players you know you have to play well.
85.
And I think we're seeing that here. No need to go 20 bull. Double 8 is a much more preferable target for him. 5 180s now in 6 legs for DVD.
He's going to get at least 10, isn't he?
80.
But he is the best, the most
Dirk require 8.
likely to hit a 180 at any given time on tour. Dirk Van Duijvenbode.
Game shot on the sixth
Double 2
play. Dirk
restores
Van Duijvenbode.
parity.
Seventh
Are you
play.
surprised that Ryan Searle is
Game
such a
on.
big 180 hitter considering what he uses? Because this, what he does with a 32-gram barrel,
140.
boggles my mind. Throughout my career, I've used 20-gram darts, if not 22s. For him to have a dart that is 10 to 12 grams heavier spins my brain.
He does lob the dart, doesn't he?
93.
He kind of lets the dart do the work.
Well, that dart is so heavy in relation to this sport. I'm surprised he hasn't got a right arm the same as Rafael Nadal's left arm.
93.
Yeah,
Hence
I'm glad
the nickname heavy metal, of
I'm
course.
glad you said in relation to this sport.
58.
You don't really get ripped from lifting 32 grams, do you?
Well, if you do it a million times, maybe you do.
Well, do you know what? He should be getting ripped apart in this match. The level that Van Duijvenbode is playing at, but he's not. He could very well be 4-3 up in a minute's time.
He's going to have to hit the 60.
100. Dirk, you require
Now, Dirk might use the 18s here. Yeah. No. Very close, though. This would sting. Searle would love 60-10 in tops. 1 down, 2 down, 3 down, and 4-3 up. Oh, and there was a little bit of a celebration. It's the only one he's got in the locker. The little flexing of the left fist.
Well, we've had 4 very different, very decent darting duels tonight on this stage, and maybe, just maybe, we've managed to save the best until last.
One thing I will say is that you got 2 of the nicest lads on tour right here. You walk up to them and you want to have a chat with them. They are so amiable. Dirk is hilarious. Ryan is just very warm. 2 very different characters, but I love that show of respect after leg 7 there, after that finish.
59.
That just goes to show that they like each other and they're prepared to do what's necessary to win, but ultimately they are going to respect each other.
180.
It's hard not to respect this quality. Masters of their craft. Dirk Van Duijvenbode just producing a barrage of
137.
power scoring, and Ryan Searle showing some real darting defiance.
I've got no idea where these guys could play each other in the world, but please let it happen.
Well, one of these finishes is going to go. The game's that good, it's inevitable. Will it be the big fish or the 160?
That's going to be the 160 then.
98. Ryan, you require 160.
What a shot it would be. What a time it would be. It's not to be.
Might want to return that crystal ball. It was good earlier.
Dirk, you require 72.
Yeah, I've smashed it. Can he smash this?
32.
Searle could smash his chances here.
That was in the Bristol Channel, that one. Ooh, that might turn out to be a good thing. Because there was nothing in the way. It's like he did it on purpose.
Wow. 5-3 to Ryan Searle in a match in which Dirk Van Duijvenbode has been averaging over 106 for the entirety of. How?
Averages lie.
Well, it's 5 out of 8 for Searle in comparison to 3 out of the same number of attempts for this man.
140.
He's hit more 180s than doubles in the match, Dirk Van Duijvenbode.
139.
Now this is the kind of match I like to watch. Fast, furious.
57.
And it's got interaction from the crowd as well, but it's not too much.
Decent day for Dutch darts if Dirk Van Duijvenbode and Michael van Gerwen get
97.
through. Danny Noppert having just got there in a brilliant battle with Matt Campbell.
There's a lot of dart players from the Netherlands in the top 32 now, all vying for that World Cup squad. But I tell you what, it was referenced by Nathan Aspinall at the Slam. Look at the race for the England team next year. It's got a bit crackers. A bit like Searle on the 60, who's looking to guarantee a lead at the break.
All he can do is tidy up here. Ryan Searle has defied a brilliant performance from Dirk Van Duijvenbode and now leads by 3. By the way, I mentioned the 1/8 hitting in this match. There have been 9 between them. In the game on the main stage, they've also been 9 180s, but MVG has hit 7 of them. He's purring nicely, averaging 106 himself
Yeah,
against
he's in
Dimitri
good nick.
Vandenberg.
He's in very, very good nick.
6-4 up in that one.
And if you weren't watching this
57.
afternoon, Michael van Gerwen dodged a bullet against Cameron Menzies. He could have lost that game. Menzies let it slip in leg 9.
58.
He should have gone 5-4 up, and when he didn't, he paid the price.
140.
There is a danger, isn't there, in big televised tournaments when they lose a lot of their big headline names on the first day, that while that creates a lot of attention and drama on the opening day, it can affect the quality of the tournament. That hasn't happened here.
Not
this
at all.
weekend.
Not at all. That's 180 number 10. I told you we were going to get double figures. That's only leg 10.
59. Dirk, you require
6 for
170.
DVD, who now wants a big fish.
You know how much I like a
98.
perfect 6.
There would have been 180 followed by the 170. Rare, that, isn't it?
Very rare.
100.
Oh,
They're
he's
not-
done it again!
They're not rare. 180s in this match. 10 a
Same as
penny.
it's the same as the last leg. This has got to go.
40. Ryan, you require
Well,
65.
letting something bother him, he does do that, Dirk van Duijvenbode. Much more likely for things to bother him than this man, who remains unfazed, unflappable, and still so far undefeated here on stage 2 at the Players' Championship Finals. That was a bit of a dart drop rather than a mic drop. Well, what a game we have here on stage 2 to close out the action for the weekend in Reds Bar at Minehead. And Dirk van Duijvenbode will be wondering how after 10 legs the scoreline does not read the other way around, because despite averaging 105.73 and hitting 6 180s, he's only won 3 of them. And Ryan Searle is only 3 away from making the final day at the Players' Championship Finals for the 2nd successive year.
Looks like Dirk's going to need the fighting spirit that he showed against Mickey Mansell on this stage on Friday. He won that one by 6 legs to 5. But he's got a very different opponent who was averaging 100 for the tournament.
And something irked Dirk, didn't it, just before the break there?
Well, that sounds like a movie, that. Something irked Dirk.
Maybe it was him, but he was looking over his shoulder at someone or something. Started to show that Ryan Searle's tungsten tenacity was getting to him. And I've heard it say very often, now you can tell me whether it's true or not,
140.
but when you're winning, you don't hear anything, and when you're losing, you hear everything.
That's why I heard a lot.
97.
It's very true. There are things that just irk you a little bit when you're on the stage, and there are a few people out there who shout at the wrong time.
140.
But when you're in someone's backyard, like Dirk is with Searle here, there's obviously going to be a few people who are rather boisterous at this
84.
time of day. It's fair to say that there's a bit more of a hum around Reds Bar right now than there was at about 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Something just stopped him in his tracks again there, Van Duijvenbode. He can be a stop-start type, and maybe that will affect Searle a little bit.
140.
But it was very, very steely in that opening session.
It's got to look at that third dart as well, Dirk,
59.
because he's following through brilliantly on dart 1 and dart 2. Dart 3 is just snatching it just a little bit. Well, it's a good job he didn't need dart 3, isn't it? Because he's now within 3.
Exactly what the doctor ordered for Dirk. 7-4, comes back from the break with a brilliant leg of darts. 11 darter.
83.
I'm just looking on his dart shirt. He does have Titan on it. I just wondered if he actually
81.
had his nickname on it. But nobody calls him Titan anyway. We just call him the Genius.
140.
Well, he should be called the maximum man, shouldn't he, the way he hits them. 6 in this match. 5, though, for Ryan Searle. Sorry, 6.
180.
You've got to check yourself before you wreck yourself, Murphy.
Well, is he going to out-maximum the
94.
maximum man?
Might get another.
7!
Wow.
180.
Just incredible. The darts, I mean.
140.
Dirk can't find his trademark score, and having broken immediately, he might be about to be broken back. Double top.
20.
Oh, that way I was pushed.
Dirk required 44.
Maybe that's the fortune that Dirk, well, not deserves, but really wants.
Game
He
shot
takes
on
full
the
advantage of it. He's now within 2.
Duijvenbode, 13th leg, it's Ryan to
He's starting to
first.
prowl around the stage.
There we are seeing that animation that we spoke about. We said it would come out at
45.
some point, particularly if he was embroiled in a battle, and he really is. But it's not a battle in the way that we sometimes talk about it, a real slugfest. This is a battle of absolute brilliance.
It is, but almost top of the list of things that dart players at this level hate are legs where they lose and they've hit 2 180s. They despise it.
134.
But here's the thing about Dirk right now. Since the break, he's having this incredible time of 2 treble visits. 140s, 134s, 137s. He's pitching his 10th there now.
The other thing we have to say, of course, Paul, is that the longer the format, the more likely it is that the player who has superior average will go on and win it. And he's had an average of about 9 points more than Ryan Searle for most of the match.
And there's only so long you can defy that. But just how much is Searle going to rue those 2 darts at tops?
96.
They could be very, very costly. But how many times have we seen this in a match where he's been behind in the leg, and he's put in the big score then, waited for the mistake and pounced?
78.
Yeah, his approach play has been excellent. This to get back within 1. Oh, what a dart, what a visit. What a little charge after that break from DVD, who
14th leg, it starts to throw first. Game on.
was 7-3 behind and has reeled off a hat-trick of legs in next to no time.
Well, we're on throw. Just like that.
Do you think he's sped up a little since the break?
41.
Maybe a fraction.
Maybe, I don't think he's sped up the throw, but I think he's sped up the approach. He's sort of charging around a little bit.
100.
Yeah, he's gone full on Michael Barnard to get the darts out the board in record time.
And then, as I say, that he saunters up like...
I think Searle needs a leg. If he doesn't win one of the next 2, I think he's in real trouble because he could find himself losing this match in the next 7 minutes.
140.
This is better. Just steadying the ship a little bit against the throw by getting a 140-ton combo in the first half of the leg.
Well, we were talking about heavy metals, tenacious tungsten tossing, but this is
180.
defiant darting from Dirk van Duijvenbode, who levels the maximum tally, 7 apiece. Every time I say it, it changes.
180.
I think they're going to get more than Humphreys and Ratajski.
46.
Watch out for this one. There'll be some animation if this goes. 1, 2, double 16. Oh, what a shot from Dirk! That's extraordinary. Great respect again. But what a match.
Game on.
Great finish. Great characters. Great game. Great spirit.
140.
Searle's going to have to start hitting 2 treble visits because 3 don't work.
What a moment. And the stats in this match, both of them 7 out of 13 on the doubles. Both have
80.
a big checkout. In fact, Searle has 2 ton plus, 121, his highest, that 146, the highest from Dirk.
100.
He is outscoring Ryan Searle for the most part, despite Searle having 1 more max than the maximum master.
Only elite players can maintain an average of 108
100.
for 14 legs.
And it has been maintained. He's been up there since about leg 3.
Correct. And
But-
fair play to Ryan Searle. The fact that he's living with that 14 legs is admirable. But like you said earlier about one of our previous games, if you're just joining us, You might think, well, this has been toing and froing the whole time. It hasn't been, because Dirk is charging more than a bunch of rhinos when you're in the tent in the Serengeti. Double 14! Oh, it's all happening here. 8-7 Searle, and he stops the rot.
Well, there's nothing sweeter than a repeater, and Ryan Searle hit the 1-2-1 in the opening leg of the match. He's hit it again in the 15th leg to lead the match.
Honestly, this is like a practice match with everybody watching.
By the way, there were 16. There have been 16 180s in this match now. There were 17 in that match between Ratajski and Humphries that we mentioned. This pair have rattled in 8 apiece. I can tell you that Michael van Gerwen hit 10 himself in a victory against Dimitri van den Berg. He is now through 10-6.
Watch out, everybody. And it's another one.
Well, that takes Van Duijvenbode to 9. It means that we do match the tally from Humphries Ratajski.
They are hitting everything. If you were to ask these guys right now, how are you playing? They'd say, can't play any better than this, really.
I just heard a crowd member just through the cans there. And he said, he summed it up better than either of us could. He just said, what on earth's going on? What on earth is going on? Marvellous, magical, monumental darts.
We did 17 games of best of 11 yesterday, Murph. We did 8 games this afternoon. We've done 3 best of 19 tonight. You might think at this time we'll be happy for the day to end. No, we want more. This is mint.
It's 10. For Dirk van Duijvenbode, he matches MVG in terms of maximums hits. Well, we know what we haven't had.
You're asking too much now.
Am I?
Yep.
True
what
that.
we can say, slight diversion away from this game, is that Michael van Gerwen will play Danny Noppert in the quarters. Luke Humphries will play either Scott Williams or Joe Cullen. And there's another maximum. Rob Cross will play the winner of this one. And Callan Ridds plays Johnny Clayton. What a tournament.
Well, you said you were sure we'd get into double figures of 180s. We're 1 away from getting to 20. 1-2-1, he's done it twice.
Thrice. It's amazing. It can't get any better than this. What a game. 3 121 finishes from Ryan Searle, and somehow Dirk van Duijvenbode needs to win the last 2 legs to win the match.
Despite, folks, listen carefully, despite averaging, after 17 legs of darts, 111.61.
I've never seen anything like this at Minehead. I know it's easy for me to say that because I'm watching this match right now, but I genuinely don't remember a game like this before.
He's actually on course here, Dirk van Duijvenbode, to produce his highest televised average. And he might lose the match. His record on the box is 110.64.
How is he doing this?
And Paul, that was a World Cup group game against Steve Lennon where it's a race to 4 legs. He's maintained this for 18.
We are lost for words. I'm sure everybody watching is lost for words. This game deserves a last leg shootout. The only person who doesn't want that right now is Ryan Searle.
Surely we're going to get it. Of course we are. Double 6. And it goes a distance, and rightly so.
Right, Searle's got the darts. It's his home game. Can he finish the job in what has been one of the best games that I've ever witnessed in this tournament?
Both men have hit 10 180s. Both men have hit 9 doubles. Both men have thrown a wayward dart at the start of this last leg decider.
Maybe this is going to be the most edgy leg of the lot. It might be the worst leg of the match. But we don't care.
26.
They're human after all.
Well, Dirk van Duijvenbode's probably done the right thing there. He doesn't want to follow Searle again in making a mess, so he's taken a step back, he's regrouped, he's refocused.
Maybe there is an advantage to going second after this start. He's seen Searle falter, but now is the time to refocus and find that 60 again, which he does. Superb recovery.
The crowd in there have been absolutely treated, as have you at home, as have we sat here. Another, of course.
Blackjack, 21.
11 of them
100
for DVD, who may play on.
Mission 1 accomplished. He's got the darts. He's looking to trim it up to tops, and he does. That's magnificent. Searle is now behind the 8 ball.
And Duijvenbode will come back looking at tops. For a place in the quarterfinals and a clash against Cross. And despite being absolutely brilliant throughout this match, he's had to fight and fight and fight for this. And he wins it. What a game, and you can see what it's taken out of him. An absolute treat of a darts match to end the action here on stage 2. Ryan Searle and Dirk van Duijvenbode both deserve a spot in the quarterfinals, but only one of them can go through, and it is the man who's fired in 11 of the game's 21, yes, 21 maximums, and hit an average of 112. Final word on stage 2 to Paul Nicholson.
I tell you what, Murph, that may well be the game of the year. 112 the average, 56% on the doubles. Searle 103, 60%, and he lost. He only missed 6 doubles in the match.